Okay, Fix fans, welcome back to the shed. Let's get straight into it. We are here because we have got on the bench what I think is the most important blaster in the Nerf hobby to come to the UK. I knocked over everything. Hold on. I'm so excited to have this in my hands just because of what it represents. Walk into a toy shop, buy a super stock performance short dart blaster. Just buy one. It's compatible with your Talon magazines if you are already a super stock Nerfer or a modifier. There's no printing required. It just represents a new level for the UK. Until now, your UK Nerfers could not walk into a shop and come out with something that shot short darts at a reasonably high velocity. You're limited to basically the Nerf brand stuff that tops out at about 70 feet per second. If you've ever played with one of those toys, you'll know what that feels like to be shot with. It's pretty tame, and when you buy blasters from X Shot, from Nerf, from anybody, they come with these darts, long darts. If you want dinky little short darts like this, which are more accurate and take up less space on your gear if you're going to a game, then you have to go and buy them off the internet and adapt your blasters to suit, or buy a hobby grade blaster or 3D print something. Not anymore. This big box is the X Shot Longshot. It's a recycled name, and it's actually a recycled blaster, but we'll get to that later. We'll unbox it properly in a second, but in here you have a blaster that shoots 140 feet per second, so hot that it's not actually allowed in the next Nerf game I'm going to, and it includes long darts and short darts. Yes, with this, UK Nerfers can now just walk into a toy shop. I got this from Smith's, I think they're stocked in the Entertainer, and pick something off the shelf that hits hobby grade velocities with hobby grade shaped darts. It's happened. It's here. Hobby grade Nerf is now available to the masses. Before we take this long guy for a spin, let's get it on the bench and get it out the box. We'll see what's actually in there. And here it is. What's written on the box? X Shot by Zuru, of course. Longshot, they've trademarked that, even though it's an existing Hasbro blaster name. It shoots long, maybe that's the thing. It has slam fire action, 20 short darts, 20 long darts. Interesting. It has Orion written here. You can see that it's a rifle-shaped thing with a pump grip and a bullpup design. So you load the mag behind the trigger, prime it by pumping this foregrip, and your darts will come out of this barrel, in theory, at 140 feet per second. This little guy here looks very happy with it. It's the X Shot Skins series. Quite a nice little set of graphics on this. I'm quite a fan of the skins because they really do a good job. Here are your 20 long darts. Here are your 20 short darts. There's a magazine which is for long darts, you can see there, and then if you open the front of the package, you can see there is a magazine adapter and your short dart magazine here. Darts are in little blister packs there. So here's the magazine well adapter for the short dart magazine. That's where these go. And your long dart magazine just out of there. So this is where you put your short dart one. That's your mag release for your short darts, and this mag release to take the whole shebang out. Long darts. Again, first short darts that have come in a UK blaster that you can just buy in the shop. Fantastic. As you see on the back side, we've got a lot of these little twist undo tabs. Two more at the back here. And there we are, the blaster's nearly free. There's just a zip tie to deal with. And it's free. That was noisy. Holy moly. Smooth prime. Dry firing. Sounds horrendous. What's that?
What's that?
Not sure what that is, both sides. I don't know. Don't seem to do anything. Right then, let's load these magazines up and then have a play with this puppy. Has 15 written on the magazine, so I don't think I'm going to get all 20 into here. 15. There's 16th one in there too. Let me double check that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and you can see this pattern of, there's like a zigzag going on here. These aren't seated, they're not seated straight, and they're not seated forward. If I put 15 in, that's still the case. This is the amazing bit, this is what blows my mind. Similar in size and shape to the worker short dart, a little bit longer, 38.1 millimeters. Your worker short dart, 36.3. Included short darts are about 2 mil longer than a worker short dart. 15 again on there. This feels weird, loading a short dart magazine 5. 18? Is that all of them? Oh, there's 2 more in the packet. 19? I mean, that's pretty, yeah, they're pretty packed. Let's just put 18 in there for now. And you can see, again, this wobbly shape that you don't get with Talon and Katana mags. But then it's a little adapter, and let's have a little play. Okay, here we are. We've got the blaster out. It is, as we thought, pump action Springer. I've already cocked it, haven't I? A dart in there that was chambered last time. When you prime back, a little pusher chambers a dart from the bullpup magazine into the barrel. It's got a removable barrel on here, 2 removable barrels, one with some sort of rifling type stuff inside. It's not a scar barrel, not really tight enough to make contact with your dart. It's very, very gentle. And then a kind of blast diffuser muzzle flash hider type thing that goes on the end. I'm sure if you wanted to fit a scar barrel to this, you can get something that just goes in there. I use the bearing scar barrels available on Thingiverse, and I'm sure there will be an adapter for one of those that goes on here out in due course. Some lovely little iron sights on the top. They have an adjustment knob on them for height on the front one. I imagine you're going to want to adjust the front one really, really low because this is a Nerf blaster, so you're going to be aiming it high anyway. Graphics are absolutely wonderful. It has a trigger lock right here. Can't pull the trigger with that engaged. What I need to know, community, please tell me this. What the hell is this? It's got this switch here. Is that a mag release? It doesn't do anything with the magazine in the blaster. Take the mag out and this slides forward. I wonder what that does. Comment below. Pump grip's pretty comfy actually. It's very, very similar to some stuff that you can get aftermarket or print yourself. If you look at the back here, it says Orion on it because this is heavily inspired, if not pretty much copied, from the community blaster that came along before the Lynx did. Grip is comfortable. I've got ordinary size adult hands. Indent for your thumb there. It actually reminds me in certain ways of the grip on this, which is, oh, hello, which is essentially from the zinc, so it's really quite ergonomic. Plenty of filleted away stuff there for your thumb. Plenty of space for your trigger finger, and a little bit more meat on there if you've got a bigger hand. Even if your hand is a little bit smaller, I don't see that being an ergonomic problem. There's a stock at the back. Press this button here, and that can be extended and retracted by about 2 inches. If you want to use that to aim, you can. Also, when you're priming the blaster, it can help to pull it back. The prime itself is quite light, not a million miles away from priming something like a Rampage. It's not a heavy prime by any means. Like all blasters with a breech, it will dry fire if you don't plug the barrel. It's not got an air restrictor in it. That's what it sounds like if you dry fire it. Zuru X-Shot, they're not a premium brand, this is a toy. So I'm actually going to be interested in trying to detune this to use it in Nerf Wars and HVZ games that I participate in, but actually I've got other things that I'm going to take to this one, so I probably won't mess around with it quite yet. But do subscribe for the video on that. The graphics are absolutely spectacular. Danger X-ray in use. Got the little cheeky nod, Orion there. Attention at the top of the stock. It's just really, really lovely. I do really enjoy the X-Shot Skins series, and the red and white looks fantastic in my opinion. It does help it look a little bit more sci-fi, a little bit more like a toy. That is quite a rifle-esque shape, and that silhouette is not necessarily what you want to be running around with on a university or college campus when you're playing HVZ or something like that, or even in a public park if there is a Nerf war, although most Nerf wars will have a cap below 140 if it's a public park. What I'm going to do now is just ping off a few shots inside here, and then we'll take it outside and see what it's capable of when it's light, because it's actually nighttime at the moment. With the included long darts, ordinary length darts. Again, prime's not particularly heavy. It sounds horrible, but that dart did come out. Coming out of my dart net everywhere here. If anything, it feels slightly harder than 140. I haven't got a chronograph here, but I've got some stuff that hits a bit harder than that. I've got a brass knockout that hits about 160, and this feels a bit harder, probably because I'm in a confined space with it and it's shooting darts back in my face. First impression is very, very toy-like, very, very clangy. You can hear the springs. The aluminium tube is obviously resonating some noise as well. Haven't had any misfeeds yet from this oddly stacked magazine. Let's carry on. In fact, let's test the slam fire function. So trigger down and pump the grip. Despite the funky pattern of stacking darts, I did not have any jams. Let's get our short darts done. A reminder of how that works. Put your short dart adapter into the back of it and put the short dart magazine in. Again, it accepts hobby grade magazines. Let's try it with a zinc one actually. A zinc magazine here. Well, it does go in. It's angled, so I don't know if it would actually feed from that. It doesn't look like it would feed from a zinc magazine, but it does kind of fit in there. Anyway, back to the included magazine and darts. Remember, I jammed a load of darts in there. Let's have a couple of short dart shots. That felt a bit more powerful. That dart really hit that dart net. Okay, and these are still really wonkily stacked in the back here, so let's just fire off the rest of these as slam fire and see if we can provoke it to jam. Trigger held down and keep pumping. Nope, magazine's empty. Hello, and we're out on the range with the X-Shot Longshot. About 15 feet away there, I've got the 4 little Nerf targets. They're very small, and I'm going to try and hit them with this thing. I've got the long darts and the short darts. And I'm also going to use, which I didn't use in the last test, injection molded scar. I did find out finally what this button is for, and I'll show you right now. With a short dart magazine, it goes into an adapter. This is your mag release, just here. If you push that forward with your thumb, your short dart mag drops out for extra bullpup tacticalness. I do live near an airport, so we're gonna have to put up with some of these aeroplanes as we go. We've got the short darts in, I've got the long darts here. I'll just tuck them into my side pocket here, and we'll have a go at shooting some targets, and we'll see what we can hit. At the moment, I think it's primed. And I just shot a dart into my neighbour's house nearly. Right. Let's have a little aim down the iron sights. That hit, but it didn't do anything. Now the difficulty with this is it's a slightly higher power blaster. Being slightly higher power, the darts are firing back at me all over the place. Oh, close. And we got all 4 with, hang on, let me use the fancy mag release on the thumb. That was my last dart. How's that? Wonderful. Swap out to long darts and see how we go with those. Surprisingly accurate, those short darts, but we are only at about 15 feet, although those targets are very small. Let's have a look and see what we can do here. First hit. That wasn't far off. Got all of them with 3 darts to spare. Look at that. It's a little bit flexy and wobbly and plasticky, and it does sound. I'll dry fire it again for science. Ooh, bit horrible, but that is not bad at all. Accuracy wise, slightly more accurate with the short darts, I would say. So conclusions then, absolutely love the graphics, looks really good. The removable barrels are going to be great for somebody adding a attachment for a bearing scar or even a strung scar. It's a simple case of printing a couple of tubes. Can't wait for that to happen. The included iron sights, I mean, adjust them, but I don't think I'm going to be aiming properly with this at any point. Short dart capacity, great. It's a bullpup, so it is small without the barrels on the end of it. I mean, it's... Here's my Captain Slug flak. I mean, that's a different thing altogether, but flak size. So you're talking slightly shorter than something like a Caliburn. Bearing in mind, of course, a Caliburn hits considerably harder than this out of the box. But yeah, I mean, I don't see how you can go wrong with this. The ergonomics aren't terrible. It feels quite comfortable to me. Yes, it sounds cheap. It sounds a little bit nasty. I probably want to put worker darts through it just because they're a little bit more consistent. They've got harder foam. They work well with bearing scars. I know that from other blasters. These X-Shot darts are a little bit of an unknown quantity to me. I will have to test them to find out, really. But at the moment, this is in the UK, £35. Walk into a toy shop, walk out with it. That's quite expensive, but remember, this is a step change in performance. This is twice the power of anything else that shoots darts on the shelves, unless you're looking at Ultra, but don't look at Ultra. You've really got to be into Ultra to look at Ultra, and there's not much wrong with this. It's bullpup design, it's got a slightly adjustable stock, it's got the iron sights, it looks great, the ergonomics are great. Apart from the slightly toy-like construction, a little bit creaky, a little bit wobbly. You see, I give the trigger a sort of a wobble there. It's a little bit loose. There's nothing, it's not as solid as it could be. It's not as solid as a U-channel printed blaster, for example, but I haven't had to build this. I just handed over some money and it came from the shop with short darts and hitting 140 feet per second. There's not much more to say about it. It's just brilliant. You can go and buy something from a third party like the Unicorn, very popular at the moment, or any of those other short dart blasters. You don't have to order this from anywhere. You just walk into the shop and pick it up. And if you like the look of it, and you can live with the plasticky noise, take it away and run it in Superstock Nerf Wars, or find a way to tone it down a little bit, maybe a bearing scar with quite a bit of twist on it, take 10 FPS off reliably, and you can run it in your HVZ or your normal Nerf War game. And I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. Absolute step change for UK Nerfers. Really, really happy it's here. It has its flaws, but I'm going to look forward to using it in some games. Let me know in the comments below how you get on with yours. This is a very new thing. I think this is one of the first videos about it, so let me know in the comments how you get on with your one.